Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman might end up being one of the most impactful players of the Saints 2025 draft class. Danny Stutzman.
Aggressive, decisive, hard-hitting Billy Bellman Jr. brings passion to Falcons secondary.
Reasons why I think Billy Bowman has got a shot to start at the nickel position.
Invented championships.
University of Oklahoma, Brent, Venables. Good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioner Sankey.
The first team that runs the ball very well will win the football game.
Sooner defense took center stage in OU's first home game.
Once again, Jess Sims.
Two-time All-American linebacker, Rocky Kalmus. Rocky, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, how does it feel to be back on campus? College game days here. I mean, look at the crowd.
This is amazing. It's unbelievable.
The road to the Orange Bowl began on September 13th at the new-look Memorial Stadium in Norman, where contractors had beaten the clock to complete the new expansion that increased the seating capacity 70,286, a new press box and a VIP section. The opponent was Oregon, the first team to test college football's national champions. It was almost time for the start of another season of Oklahoma football. The Sooners were off and rolling with 616 yards of total offense, including 544 yards on the ground, while the defense limited Oregon to just 48 yards rushing, intercepted 3 passes, and recovered 7 fumbles.
That's an echo. Hey, Grace, I love it when you said he's got speed. Does he have speed or what?
Boomer! Love it, love it.
Boomer.
No, not hook 'em, cook 'em.
I mean, I tell you guys, every time I'm able to come back, it's just, this place changed me for life. I'm forever grateful for what University of Oklahoma has given me. It made me who I am. So just coming back here and being able to spend time with kids, it's a great experience for me. And I remember being at this age, coming up and watching games and just how much fun I had. So it's important for me to know.
Hey, it's Coach Bates with OU, and I got a word for you today. Outward comparison must be eliminated. Intrinsic comparison must be demonstrated.
If you are unfamiliar, I would like to introduce you to the heart of America. Welcome to Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain and the wave and wheat. It sure smells sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. A place right in the middle of the map where your Ford truck is more important than oxygen. The historic Stockyard City, re-nicknamed to Loud City. That is home on the range, where the weather may not always be pretty, but we breed champions in my city, OKC. Stand up. Every time you leave, you'll be missing the aroma. There's no place in the United States or the world quite like Oklahoma, where the Friday night lights are bright, but the Saturday gridiron fights reign supreme, where a kid can be a kid and pursue that crimson and cream dream.
Remember, you're going to earn trust and respect
by your performance and your consistency on this practice field. Okay, you're going to earn the trust and the respect of your coaches and your teammates by both your performance and your consistency.
The Oklahoma City Thunder head coach, Mark Dagnall. In this building tonight, he's known as Ashley's husband.
Say, Weasel, you had that horn signal the wrong way. Let me help you out right quick. That's better. Matter of fact, let's keep hitting that. I like the way that look. Keep putting them down. Keep putting them down. Keep putting them down. Matter of fact, I can do you one better. Go ahead and cook them. And always keep them horns down. Have you ever seen a more pacified program than that dumpster fire down there in Austin, Texas with their unholy horn signal? I swear to y'all, it's some demonic stuff going on in that leadership. And that's the reason why my soul told me to hate them from birth. It was telling me them dudes ain't got nothing holy going on. And say, family, I don't know if you do, but I most certainly don't. I don't believe in no coincidences, and you shouldn't either. And it ain't no coincidence as to the reason why Texas is always #1 in revenues earned and also is the richest college university there is. Because they ain't putting no W's on the board. They ain't doing no winning. So why is it that they are the richest? I know what y'all gonna say. It's because of the donors. But when you look at it, there's multiple states with multiple universities who have alumni who own Fortune 500 companies. For one, the Vanderbilts, one of the richest families in the world. So why is Vanderbilt so trash? It ain't because of the donors. It's because Texas, I believe, made a pact with Satan. And that's the reason why they do the horns up signal that look like some devil horns. So every time we stomping their ass, we putting in the Lord's work. Lord, forgive me for that. But I'll tell y'all what, y'all see them fellas, them guys, the home team down there at number 7, showing y'all that they are putting in work and making sure that we are accumulating revenue to build for the future. Joe C is making sure that while he's on his way out, Oklahoma remains one of those programs you do not want to see on your calendar. So-called Joe C, Johnny Appleseed. Because just like old Johnny, Joe C has planted a tremendous amount of fruit trees that will be very profitable in producing an abundance of fruit baskets that will fuel the hungers of the future baby boomers so that they can fight on for the next generation that is to come. And by fight on, I do not mean those cowards out there on the West Coast who ain't standing next to a baby picture of us.
No jealousy, and I can't be intimidated as I focus on me. It's all about the man in the mirror.
The committee is set. I've been hearing mixed emotions on it, but I'm trying to tell y'all, we are in great hands. The best hands possible. Y'all see that man right there? Bob Stoops. Do y'all know that man? If you don't know that man, you better check his background. Do your research on that man right there. Because I'm telling you, with him on this committee, we are in great hands. But I do love the versatility within the committee. You have the unisex thing going on. You have the mixture of former student athletes, current student athletes. I love the way that it's set up, man.
Would you look at these Air Jordans? Are those not the greatest shoes you've ever seen? Take a look at this. Look at this. Why don't you call the Philadelphia Eagles and ask them if Lane Johnson at right tackle? How about Trent Williams at left tackle? I drafted Davin Joseph in the first round from Oklahoma. They got great players at every position. Why don't you ask the Cowboys if they like C.D. Lamb? Sorry for yelling. Is that a classic logo right there? It's freaking classic. There's no place like Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Sooner. That's where Mark Andrews played tight end. Oh, how about Keith Jackson? You like Jermaine Gresham? They have great players at every position. This is cool or what? I mean, it is a legendary program. They have better quarterbacks that have transferred out of Oklahoma than most teams ever have. This is where Troy Aikman went to college. Caleb Williams went to Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma. Bob Stoops. Think of all the great coaches. Chuck Fairbanks, Oklahoma. I wonder where Barry Switzer is right now. I bet he's having a hell of a good time. Look at this right here. They used to have...
So Matt Hayes went on SEC Mike's podcast, was speaking to Cousin Shane, and put out a bold take. And I'll say this. That's the way you drop your nuts. Hey, Matt Hayes, you did it how you supposed to. Spoke on how you felt. Like a man.
Tell you this, and I know many people here told me that I'm crazy when I said this. I think Oklahoma's going to win the SEC. I do.
Wow.
I think Mateer's going to play really well, and that defense will be as good as any defense in the league. They're going to shock some people this year. I think Mateer is a lot better than people think he is. He's a very good player, number one. And number two, I think he's gonna have that type of impact of, it's not just on the field, it's also in the locker room. And I think you're gonna see that. I really do. I mean, I may be way out there, and you guys in 3 months, may saying, remember when you said Oklahoma was going to win the SEC and they finished 6-6? I think they're going to win it.
We usually don't do our bold takes till the end.
I was about to say, he got the MyBookie bold take.
I got it in first, huh?
Lock it in.
Way to drop your nuts, Mac. Now, I did see you taper back a bit, putting it out there in the atmosphere that OU could possibly go 6-7 in 3 months, which is most definitely not a possibility, if you ask me. If you just study the roster, you will see that there's improvement. Not to mention the fact that we all know, like you said, you put a competent offense with that defense last year, and that's a problem, not only for the SEC, but CFB. Now, Matt, let me introduce you to the Arbuckle Show.
I say it to our offensive staff all the time. Whenever we're in the meeting rooms, I'm like, guys, I don't know who has it better than us. Like these guys are incredible over here. You know, I just what they do schematically, and some of the guys that we get to go against. I see it as a real competitive advantage for us on offense.
What's up, guys? Jaron Kanek here, and this is a day in my life.
If we had some of our starters that were supposed to play last year actually playing, you would have seen way more improvement. I could bet my bank account on that one. Now, the media, man, they have a love affair going on with Texas right now, and I don't understand it because Texas is dealing with the same issues that we dealt with last year, minus the injuries. But when you look at that defense, it's all young, and we know development is not linear. When you're dealing with young prospects, let's just be real. A Colin Simmons could more than likely take a step back, which I expect. That offense, brand new quarterback, brand new offensive line, you're bringing back your running back, but he's coming off of injury. So it's just one of those things, man, where I just don't see Texas being as great as everyone in the national media is making them out to be. You even have beat writers within the Sooner spirit who are claiming that Texas is number one and Texas could win and Texas could do all this. But that just lets me know that y'all ain't paid enough attention because this Kool-Aid that's being stirred up right now has always been mixed for Texas and y'all taking sips of it. If you're a real Sooner supporter, you know that every single year, Texas wins the offseason.
Oklahoma, you're 1-2 in the Red River. You've been outscored 37-117 and scored just 3 and 0 points in the 2 losses.
Yeah, well, I would say 2 of the 3 years we were, at some key positions, we're in a really tough spot. But I think 2 years ago was reflective of the type of game that it should be and will be moving forward. But we got to play better. We got to coach better. We got to play better. And that's a wonderful venue, as good as there is in all of college football. I've said it a lot. It's better than any national championship environment that I've been in.
Jeff Howe, on Texas football coach. You mentioned coaches that call their own plays. Sark does that at Texas. Just your thoughts on getting to compete against Sark and Red River the last few years. And
getting what?
To compete against Sark and Red River the last few years. And
getting what?
Just your thoughts on competing against Sark, play caller to play caller.
But that's the thing, man. They're not even just hyping up Texas. They are hyping up the Georgias, the Bamas, and everybody else who's starting a brand new quarterback. Like, they not factoring that in just due to the logo. But that love and support was not given to OU, and I don't understand it. It just goes to prove, once again, they want to see the mighty fall. They don't want the Sooners up there in the mix, especially recruiting sites like On3, who's always asking a question about blue bloods and trying to put OU in the second tier, or trying to make out a case to say OU is most definitely a blue blood. Why is that even a topic of conversation? We know that there's over a century worth of work that has already been put down in the pavement. OU is not just a blue blood. OU is one of the elite blue bloods. Go ahead and clarify that, because you have blue bloods who don't really do much. It's crazy how 2 out of the last 3 seasons, 6-7, you still make a bowl game, but now we all of a sudden ain't a blue blood. When you have blue bloods like Texas, USC, Notre Dame, Michigan, who have all missed bowl games in the last 20 years. That's wild. That is wild. Y'all don't see what's being played out here? As I explained to y'all before, what that does is It implants a parasite within the minds of the young people who didn't get to watch that history, the young recruits. So they don't know about the history. It gives them a reason to not speak about OU. That's why it's even more important for us to lock in this season and beat away any of those narratives that you see the On3s trying to create. The one recruiting site, Rivals, that was pretty much unbiased is now a part of On3. So you got to expect those bias to come in. Look at the way that Jake Cruel fell in the rankings. All because if you're paying attention to the tea leaves, it's obvious. He's coming to Oklahoma. So they want to drop him in the recruiting rankings so it makes OU look like they're not recruiting at a high level. That's all it is, man. It is to destroy the future of the program by creating a narrative about this program being a 3-star U, a bad program, not a good program for top recruits to go to. It's one of those things, man, as a Sooner fan, if you cannot see that you have all of these recruiting sites negatively recruiting against you, not just the universities, and you're not paying close enough attention. That is the reason why I told y'all in the last video, do not downgrade these players' talents that we have in the bag because a recruiting site said that they're a 3-star. Remember, they are negatively recruiting against you. So if they can keep you down in the 20s and 30s and 40s, then you don't look like one of the elite schools. That's all it's about. But let's be real. By the time this cycle is over, they're going to have to recognize these young players' talents. They've been doing it every year. Every time we get down to that last ranking, these players we have in the bag just seem to skyrocket. Why is that? Because they're obviously better than a lot of the other players they are being compared to. For these recruiting sites, universities like the University of Oklahoma are a problem for them because they do their own evals and they don't go to the recruiting sites looking up who's the top 250, who's the top 300, who's the top 32 prospects that are 5 stars. They're not doing that. They do their own evals. They're getting on the film and they're making sure that that player has what they need to bring them into their system. So those type of universities are a problem because these recruiting sites get paid off your viewership, off of your subscription. If you're not paying attention, they're not getting paid. So that's a problem for them. Universities like Texas and these other programs who go and find the 5 stars that are on all of these recruiting sites, they love those programs. So if a recruit goes ahead and commits to that program, now they get a bump up in the rankings. We've seen it happen time and time again. Look at Keelan Russell last year. The man decommits from SMU where he was a 3-star. Even though we seen he had talent, he should have at least been a 4-star. Soon as he commits to Alabama, he jumps up to 5-star status. I believe he was like the number 2 or 3 prospect in that cycle, maybe quarterback, one of the two, wins the Elite 11. Man, he goes from being regular old Joe Smo to becoming the top, the elite, less than a couple of months after committing to Alabama. Those are the things you have to pay attention to because it happens every recruiting cycle. We see it happen when a player commits as a low 3-star, low 4-star to Ohio State. Then they bump up to a high 4-star, high 5-star prospect. Same thing with Texas. Why is that? It's because, man, these programs keep their recruiting sites hot. And that's just what it is, man. Pay attention and stop downgrading the talent that you already have in the bag. Trust your coaching staff, trust their evaluations, and trust that you got the right man and the right staff for the job. If you don't, man, why you even supporting the squad? I'm just saying.
What legacy can one name leave? One family, one legacy, one pursuit.
And Oklahoma and the Young Guns of Oklahoma. Oklahoma goes back to back. A record-breaking run for Oklahoma, capped with a 5th national championship.
Where will the next generation of Sooners call home? A home built upon championships of the past for champions of the future.
The media picks Oklahoma to finish 10th, and I've been seeing a negative reaction from the fan base regarding this. Man, if y'all have not realized by now that this program is being attacked from all angles, they're trying to destroy the mighty, as I just stated to y'all. If y'all can't see that, I don't know how to get that point across to y'all. Everybody wants to see Oklahoma fall. Why? Because we're not the biggest draw of all the programs. We don't have the massive state with the massive revenue. We are actually David beating on Goliaths. They don't like that. It's about money. Y'all gotta remember that. So when it comes to stuff like this, man, I don't even care about it. One thing about Oklahoma is Oklahoma's gonna be Oklahoma regardless of the obstacles that have been placed in our way. And everybody decided to turn their back on BV and pick their own coach out of this coaching staff to turn their back on, but haven't looked at what has been going on. They haven't looked at the circumstances. Context is needed when speaking on these situations. First year, y'all know the leader of the program, as far as on the field, Caleb Williams, the future Heisman Trophy winner at the time, left. A lot of the pieces that we had around him left. A lot of players went to the draft. You gotta understand, man, that made the program take a huge blow. So all of that together, including bringing in a new coaching staff, landed us a 6-7 season. The next year you go 10-3, things look like it's back on track. Danny Stutzman, if he had not gotten hurt, who knows? Maybe we could have been in the college football playoff in BV's second year, which would have been mighty impressive. Third year, you transition to the SEC, and this will be my final time saying this. I don't want to speak on this no more and sound like a broken record, but you lose your entire O-line. Players go to the draft early like Tyler Guyton, Andrew Rain, Caden Green transfers out for a bigger bag. All of these injuries took place, like BV said right here.
Again, the end of the 23 season, 10-2 in the regular season, we lost all 5 starting offensive linemen, a really good top 5 offense. And 4 went to the draft and 1 went to the portal. And so we were starting over, and then next thing you know, 4 of the top 5 offensive line starters were in and out. We had 10 different starting lineups throughout the year. Certainly it's been well documented. Top 6 receivers missing most of the year. And so there was a lot of real struggle that happened. Confidence, morale, all of those things, continuity, sequencing, rhythm. Man, it was messy.
And for those of you in the basement of the program talking about the coaching staff is here to develop, so those young players should have been ready. That's not how development works. Development does not work like as soon as they get in the program, now they ready to play. No, not against these players who've been developing in other programs for 3 and 4 years who are already ready, who already have experience. That's not how it works. It's rare for a true freshman to hop out there and be successful. Why do you think the Jeremiah Smiths of the world are being looked at in awe? Because it's rare. It's an anomaly for a freshman to hop out there and be truly successful. But despite what you all may think, this coaching staff and BV are all about developing this young talent and getting them the snaps and experience they need to go out there and be successful.
And we've got to do a good job from a leadership position of helping, whether that's, program by program or us in a leadership position, holistically in college football, helping these young people be good stewards of this space and continue to keep the main thing, to, again, holistically develop these young people, to help them maximize the small window that, that's there in college to develop, to play the game as long as they can play it, but be prepared for, life beyond, the football field, because that day's coming when they got to hang the cleats up. And that's our responsibility, is to be able to help manage all of it. But listen, there's always been change in college football, decade after decade after decade. Is this a lot? Yeah, no question. But do I believe in our leadership? I do. And we're going to put structures in place that helps, help us all navigate this in, the right kind of way. And but the structures aren't any good if people, go beyond those structures. And so that's what it's going to take. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of other carnage in college football and in college in general, in college sports, if leadership doesn't have full buy-in on trying to move the game together and progress it the right way. Got 5 new coaches, Coach Arbuckle, Coach Kozeski, our quarterback's coach, Coach Wilson, Kevin Wilson, a former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma and a former head coach at both Indiana and Tulsa, and then offensive coordinator for a good while at Ohio State. Great friend of mine, a really successful coach, one of the best play callers that I've ever been around. He's also on our staff. And then I hired 2 linebacker coaches, an outside linebacker coach that's been a coordinator at an elite level in Wes Goodwin, and he'll be my outside linebacker coach, and then Coach Nate Dreiling as well, who coach our inside linebackers, and also been a really good coordinator as well. It's been great.
And this coaching staff's focus on development mixed in with the opportunity and the experience that these young players got last year, because, hey, look, these young players played the most snaps in the country for the 2nd straight year. for a true freshman and sophomore.
And but we had a lot of young players that were, through that opportunity, were afforded an opportunity to play, compete, and incrementally get better.
Stay warm. And 30 days from today, we kick off, baby. Make the days count. Here we go! Are you ready?
Sleep, and we gon' go wake 'em up. If we going back to bed, then you never
never get money getting paper cuts. Wanna because they get so paper in the block like a movie. You would never fully look through what I do. In my shoes, doing shooters, got the trap house, jumping like some and hopscotch. Tongue so connected like a hot spot. Got a body, he gon' get rid of it. Hot block, booty in the body, my little that's some hot guys. I don't never pop no contract. In my shoes, doing shooters, got the trap.
Your line style. Yo. Hey, Lou. You ready? Yes, sir.
We gotta reach up. We gotta put that work in. Work on three. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, this is today's the culmination of all your hard work since freaking January 1, man.
Hey, 4 days going, no, don't make no pit stop. Bustin' down the E-way with my why you steady skimming, boy, you rich now. Cause I fell in love with it. We need to be early, bring this shit up. I ain't not this. Catch a body, jack off at my house. But I promise I don't tell it.
Our strength, we've gotten faster, we're more explosive, our acceleration numbers, and I'm not here gassing and just reaching for anything. I want to quantify a lot of hard work that our guys have put in over the last several months, but I think the last 2 years combined, you look at the total number of snaps in college football, we have some of the top numbers when it comes to playing freshmen and sophomores. And so I really believe the experience that's returning along with the new additions is going to put together a great product. And for me, I thought it exposed, a lot of the best qualities, that are in our locker room. And I also think that, just incremental. I think that was a game that maybe highlighted the incremental, not significant, but the incremental improvement that was taking place with a bunch of young guys. At one time in the first half, I froze the tape on Sunday, and we had 9 freshmen on the offensive side of the ball. 9.
And this development from these young players will take us into the future of achieving the main goal.
A change, as we all know, is inevitable. Nothing ever stays the same. And every year my job and my focus is on how do we move the program together and move it forward and, face the new challenges, the headwinds that are a part of all of it that you experience every year, but maintaining, our mission during that process and not flinching, even when maybe a lot of people are. Had a blast this spring, this winter, even this summer, when we're allowed to being on the practice field with this football team, being with the guys.
And here's the thing that I love the most about BV, because with all the excuses he could have made, he decided he wasn't going to make none, even though he had completely valid excuses for why things went wrong. It was obvious. All his players left in the draft, the whole O-line, the injuries on the replacement players, the injuries on the offensive side, a couple of key injuries on the defensive side, the transition to the SEC, getting one of the toughest schedules while rebuilding the program and restocking the cupboard. But throughout that all, he decided, man, I'm not going to make no excuses. I accept what happened as a man.
And you're not used to having losing seasons.
Yeah, but first of all, I think everybody's dealt with is dealing with the same challenges. So the poor me is not part of the conversation. And, I say it's complicated, more so than it's ever been for young people, the process of choosing a school. And so that's pretty, it wasn't a badge of honor. But yeah, that made it really difficult. And no excuses. What you would ideally like to see on any given Saturday, if you're going to be competitive and have a chance to win as an offense and a defense, and a special teams that complement one another, not compensate for one another. And when you give the ball back more than you take it from the opponent, I know it's hard to win.
And for the ones who keep making up all this fuss about him and Jim Nagy's relationship and who's over who and who has the power, these men are working together, as he stated.
Our new front office staff, Jim Nagy, and the depth of the people that he's brought into the building as well, they really have. They've hit the ground running. It's been a ton of fun. I love their energy, their buy-in, and the things that they've added to our culture day in and day out. It's been fantastic. Yeah, love Jim Nagy, love his staff. Always been a longtime fan. Our paths crossed many, many years ago at a couple of different spots. And he's first class. He's been really good for a long time at the highest level of football. He's got a great football mind. He's a tremendous human being. He's been a great partner in our collaboration to make us more efficient and make us right. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch that. We're literally just kind of starting the root system. He hired his last few guys just several weeks ago, went through our very first cycle that was halfway done when he jumped in. And so I think you'll really see the fruits of the labor of, the vision of, what we want to do and what we want to become through that space over the next couple of cycles recruiting. But they love it. What I love about Jim and his staff is they're really passionate about what they do. And they care about people. And they love building things, and they work well together. They've got those types of skills, and so it's been fun so far.
These two men are working together to build OU back up to where OU belongs, and that's all that matters. But don't get it twisted. This man, Brent, has 30 plus years of coaching experience at the college football level. Jim Nagy was an NFL scout, ran the recent Senior Bowl, but he was not a coach. He was not the man out there on the field making sure that these players develop. He identified the talent. He helped bring in Super Bowl level talent. He brought in NFL caliber players from lower level programs. He has an eye for scouting talent, for bringing in great talent. But BV has proven that he has a talent for developing that said talent. So don't forget who BV is.
2021, Brent has 3 national championships to his credit as an assistant coach during his 13 years at Oklahoma, as an assistant and 10 seasons at Clemson.
The credit for winning will go towards the entire program, but the most credit goes towards the head coach for making sure that everything stays intact and that everybody is developing the way that they are supposed to. And I believe BV will be one of those special coaches starting this year. You will see that potential start to spring out, all the lessons he's learned over the past 3 years. But I don't pay attention to it. Why? Because I know this is Oklahoma, and Oklahoma will always bounce back. There's no hope for the program outside of the Sooner spirit. We know what's brewing here, and that's all that matters. We don't need them to show love and congratulate anything. Let them think what they think. The media within this SEC space truly believes that Oklahoma is some dumpster fire program that piggybacked off of Texas. It's like they flipped everything, but Texas hasn't won anything. Texas hasn't done anything to get all this hype, and I don't get it. So that's why I'm here for all of this, Eddie Renasevich.
Win the league.
There will be a point this year that the internet is abuzz and people out of Austin are wondering if they should bench Arch.
That's that. Wow. How
about that? Let's book that one.
And to say,
so I'm not worried. I'm not worried about any of the pickings or anything like that. It doesn't bother me. Let them speak. I know one thing about Oklahoma. Oklahoma is top 3 as to being one of the greatest programs college football has ever seen. So why would I be worried? And honestly, it took 2 losing seasons for one of those programs in Ohio State to surpass us. They just surpassed us. And the other program in Alabama, it took a historic run from Nick Saban. And to be honest, there are some question marks as to the tactics and how he did it. People say that he did some illegal things that was really cheating behind closed doors. But hey, I don't know that to be fact, so we ain't gonna speak on that. What I will say is this: for all of the peasants out there in college football, all of the hundreds of programs who want to speak on OU, who want to take jabs at OU, y'all are peasants. We don't even need to pay y'all no never mind. The ones out here screaming Broklahoma, y'all are peasants. Why would a king pay attention to a peasant? We are the elite. Texas is not the elite. Texas is a mid-tier program that has a huge bag. Oregon is a mid-tier program that has a huge bag. Missouri, same thing. Y'all are mid-tier programs with big bags who can spin like y'all are elite, but y'all don't know how to develop that talent and do anything with it. Barry Tremmel, once again, what the hell are you talking about? Listen to this.
But we spend way too much time talking about the playoff and its format. Way too much time. People, I don't think, understand the illness of college football, which is the regular season is not near as good as everybody says it is. The SEC plays only 8 conference games, right? That means 4 non-conference games, and 2 or 3 teams are playing 2 legitimate non-conference opponents. The rest are just playing 1. Oklahoma's playing Temple, Kent State, and Illinois State. Illinois State, 1AA, might be the best of those 3. I mean, Temple stinks, and Kent State's the worst FBS team. Literally, they're terrible. That's 3 out of 12. That's 25% of the season is exhibition. Literally. And that's most of the way it is in the SEC and other conferences too. But when 25% of the SEC games are games you don't want to watch, you don't care about, you know what's going to happen, I wish that's what we would treat and talk about and do something about. You know, I got all fired up when I heard Drinkwit say he wanted to play 9 conference games, and then we got to talking about the rivalries, and you know, I give it up to Arkansas. Poor Sam Pittman, they gave him a tough schedule. It's tough in the conference, and then he's got to play Notre Dame and at Memphis. I mean, that's a team that can beat you, and it's right there on the border. So I want to see more good games. You know?
So family, let's take a look at Arkansas's schedule. Since Barry Tremmel decided to take a giant shit on the University of Oklahoma and highlight Arkansas and pretty much say that the SEC and Arkansas's administration did them no favors by giving them this non-conference and this conference schedule. First, they have Alabama A&M, a team that went 6-6 last year in the SWAC. Then you have irrelevant Arkansas State, top 25, non-Power 4, but really good opponent outside of the Power 4 in Memphis, who is always tough. And lastly, you have the runner-ups in Notre Dame. That's a really good non-conference, don't get me wrong. But let's go into the schedule, because this is where it gets tricky. First, you have Ole Miss to start off the conference schedule, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, who is garbage, Auburn is garbage, LSU, Texas, and finally, Missouri. A lot of these teams are changing. Ole Miss is not the Ole Miss from last year. Tennessee lost their starting quarterback, their star of their team. They lost a lot. I don't think they'll be the same team. Texas A&M, I don't think they'll be the same team. Mississippi will be Mississippi. Auburn may be better if Jackson Arnold can give them something. LSU, they lost their O-line. They lost their star O-lineman, so I don't think that they'll be as good as everyone is making them out to seem. Then you have Texas. Texas is starting a new QB. That offense lost their O-line. They have a lot of new as well. But we'll know who these 2 teams are by this time in the season. Lastly, you have Missouri, which I believe Missouri is going to fall off a cliff like they always do. They had their 2 seasons of being decent. They're going to go back to being irrelevant. And I believe this is the year where Drinkowitz's job really will be challenged by the Missouri fans. But as we all know, they love mediocrity. They love going 3 bad seasons in a row, and then every 3 or 4 years or so getting them a good season or 2 in. That's just who they are. Mediocrity. A dumpster fire program. Now let's check out the University of Oklahoma's schedule, since once again, he decided to take a giant shit on us. To start out the season, you start off with Illinois State. If y'all don't know about Illinois State went 10-4 last year in the Missouri Valley Conference. They had an almost 3,000 yard passer who also rushed for 480 yards and 9 TDs on the ground, 8 or 9 TDs, I can't remember. They had an 1,100 yard receiver, another almost 1,000 yard receiver. They had a 1,000 yard rusher, a linebacker who had 110 plus tackles with 4 interceptions. They were a good team all around. They were a good team. Then we have the game for the University of Oklahoma, reason being, because this will set the standard for the season. This will let the world know, the national media know, OU is here. Y'all better fear it. Because guess what? Oklahoma fears God, but the SEC fears Oklahoma. We have Michigan coming into town. We know they just came off a national championship 2 years ago. Sharon Moore is now the head coach. Congratulations to what he's doing over there. Former OU alum. This will be his homecoming. So this will be a big game with a lot of pageantry, a lot of things going on. Next, you have Temple. Temple, we all know, is very streaky. They're very up and down, but Temple does have talent at their skill positions. Temple is a team that could be bad for a few years like Missouri. They get their spurts. Don't get it wrong. Temple will pop out. Temple will pop out sometimes with a good team every couple of years. Maybe this could be one of those years. Who knows? Next, you have Kent State. Kent State is irrelevant. I will give that to Barry Tremmel. That's the team that he picked out of this non-conference because that's the worst team. But at the same time, he could have picked out some bad teams on Arkansas' schedule as well. He didn't point out the fact that Arkansas missed the two Goliaths that have dominated for the past 20 years, man. Come on, man. The two Goliaths in the conference, Georgia and Alabama, that they should have on their schedule every single year because y'all been in this conference so long. Now, of course, they do have the new Goliaths. Well, by Goliath, I think y'all know exactly what program I'm talking about. Oklahoma. Texas is the media's Goliath. Now, they do have those two on the schedule, but let's be real. Like I said, they've been in this conference so long that they should never miss either Georgia or Alabama every single season on their schedule. I'm just saying, man. But Barry didn't point that out. And here's another situation that deserves more context. But I will say this, man. When it comes to these big universities scheduling lower level programs, the reason why they do that is to help out that program. It brings bread, it brings revenue towards these smaller schools to keep them in business. So it's a way, it's basically charitable work while also getting in some good practice. It's a scrimmage. They need these scrimmages to test the young players and see where they at. You know, give them some reps out there, man, so they know what to work on in the offseason. That way they can get better. That's what it's for. Barry, out of all your years of covering this stuff, you would think you would know this, but obviously you don't. And it's all because you have this weird mentality, man, where you think like, you act like you're better than somebody. I'm not gonna say what this man thinks because I don't know, but that's the way he acts. Most athletes do not like the man. It's just his attitude, the way he comes off, the questions that he asks. He's very rude with stuff, man. And y'all call Barry a legend, man. I don't. I call Barry a disrespectful old man who does not understand the space that he's in. In my opinion, it seems like Barry's an asshole. And he just does not quite care about the hard work that these athletes put in, the money that's being spent in these programs. He doesn't care about anything. The only thing he cares about is getting him some content. And that's what I see from this. Maybe his bosses is telling him, man, we need you to push to get more big games so we have some more content to talk about. I don't know. But what I do know is I don't consider Barry a legend. I think that Barry is just an asshole who had an opportunity to get in front of a camera and made a name for himself around the local community. I don't think he ever really been good at his job. You can call him whatever you want to call him. I can't change your thought process on that. I think it's time for him to go ahead and hang up the gloves because he's way past his prime, especially with these bullshit takes like this.
That's the beauty about fall camp, and even the summer best. The beauty about fall camp is that the competition is going to be strong every single day. There's a lot of guys out there that are still trying to essentially say, okay, I'm the guy at this position. We tell them all the time, go out there and take it. Like, if you want it, go take it. Nobody's just going to give it to you. But I feel really good about the crop that we have in there. Those guys in there, they're awesome. And they put the work in to get better. And that's what I'm excited about this fall camp is the competition.
Trace Rudd, I see you working, my brother. I see you working. Can't wait to see you on campus. Shout out to Tate Sandell for being one of the only kickers out there at his kicking competition who could kick a 60-plus yard field goal. The man's leg is going to be elite. We brought in another kicker from Texas State. This young man was a quarterback as well. I kind of stuttered when I said that a little bit because it surprised me as I was reading it. Another pickup. He is on campus, I believe right now. I'm not sure. I don't really know. Go check out Colin Kennedy over there at 247 Sports. I read his article regarding this young man. Welcome home, young man. Congratulations.
Some of the top numbers when it comes to playing freshmen and sophomores. And so I really believe the experience that's returning along with the new additions is going to put together a great product here this fall.
What's up, Soonernation? Deion Burks here, man. First day back, getting to it. Got my boy RJ in the back, number 3. We all working, man. Just looking forward to a great season, man.
My goodness, this man Deion Burks looks massive. Look at him. That man, boy, he been putting in work.
Smooth. Smooth.
If Giovanni Gibson at UAPB isn't the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, we can stop taking that award seriously.
The leading receiver in the SWAC, Giovanni Gibson.
Inside your foot. That's okay. Let's roll it. There you go.
Nice.
Marvin Jones, it's like we got experience.
Hey, get your hands up!
Imagine like I just said PJ, T1, and then you got PJ, you know, and Taylor Wine. Those are two for sure. They're hungry. They want it. Taylor Wine wants it. You can tell. And so I'm not going to be surprised when y'all talking about him in the media or when he gets, 5 sacks and it's like going crazy. So yeah, they won't be surprised because I see him. Obviously, I see him every day. Y'all don't. So, but like for him to be like that, that's the recipe for success.
PJ is just a freaking monster. This dude got the highest potential on the team, and it's not even close. If it comes together for him, he will be a wrecking ball. Please let PJ get it together. Whatever it is, whatever he need to do, man, PJ is a freaking beast.
Yeah.
defensive end.
Danny has all of it. So when Danny gets this defense down and uses his skill set, it's going to be even crazier. Like you got Danny.
Now, you may or may not know Danny Okoye, pound for pound, might be the best athlete on our football team.
What's going on, all you fans, man? Offensive spot out, defensive spot out, and look who I got around me. Yeah! Yes, Lord!
Experience all together. So our D-line is just cold.
When you hear this man R. Mason Thomas talk about this defensive end room and you start to go down the list of names on this roster, man, that DN room look like it will be special. Like really, really special. I mean, like, yeah, top of the SEC special.
Yeah, up front on offensive line, I would say a couple of the guys. You'll see a lot of Eddie Pierre-Louis, who didn't get to campus until last summer. And I think you'll see UK Dan, Daniel Akinkume.
Go. There we go. Now, go. There it is. Sit back. Go. There we go. Go. There it is, right there. Now, down. There you go, right there on the cage. Good. Down. Shuffle. Down. Down. There you go. Down. Go. There we go. Now. Back. Down. Good, girl. Down. Back. Down. Down. Good. There you go. Go. Down. Get back. Down. Go. There you go.
Another player, man, who got a lot of praise was UK Dan. Dan the man, Daniel Akinkume. High praise has been sung for him, so his name has been thrown in the hat. Step on up, Dan. And it would seem that Dan could have a real role on this offensive line. Hey, who knows? The dude is an incredible athlete at that O-line position.
I think you'll see Mike Fasusi, Ryan Fogier, a couple of freshmen offensive linemen that are mature beyond their years, mentally and physically.
Let's swap. Hey, let's swap. Oh, yeah, we go! Yeah, we go!
Getting better, bro. Getting better, baby. For sure.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, I would think a few names that.
Marcus James is a truly exceptional athlete at that linebacker position, and he's a hitter, as y'all can see going across the screen right now. I really like Marcus James. I feel like we got something right there.
Kansas State. There's a hit. And Bowen. Little dump off. Nice play.
Get up. Pretty boy time.
Scanning. All phases complete.
Peyton Bowen, you have been chosen for being an elite athlete and for being a great competitor on and off the field. Welcome to the Oklahoma family.
Oklahoma Sooner. Peyton Bowen, you have been chosen for being an elite athlete. Take off, no way he's gonna get there. Lost the ball. He cut off. Keeping the ball in tight. He did.
Man, Taylor Wine has been the talk of town this entire off-season. Breakout year incoming. I would love to see it.
I think Reggie Powers is also somebody that's got great position flexibility and play a lot of different positions for us. Courtland Guillory is a young man from Houston that showed up on campus, a corner that loves to compete. That's probably his best quality and trait. He's long, he's super athletic, but he loves to compete and he shows up every day. He's a dog and plays with tremendous effort, lets you coach him hard. So I love that about Courtland. And thinking out loud here inside, I think you'll see a lot more of David Stone as well. Trent Wilson has had a really nice transition from high school as well. And then man, Omarion Robinson is a guy that got here in January that has tremendous range, great instincts, natural safety as well. Those are the names that jump out at me right away, but the test of the season will tell.
Injury season for OU is almost over. Welcome back, Giovanni Gibson. Welcome back, Jaden Gibson. I believe Jaden Gibson is almost back. We got a rare sighting from him. We haven't seen Jaden Gibson on camera really ever since the injury occurred a year ago. And now we seeing him again, man. This ain't coincidence. This is proven that he's on schedule. He's almost ready to return. That's what I see from that. And of course, Kendall Doby being back. That is huge. Daniel Odom, Boomer Sooner gang. Hey, I love to see it, man. Let's get it. Him locking it up, the 6'3" behemoth at the wide receiver position. Y'all know he's a dog, man. For him to let it be known, it's about OU and OU only. We love to see it. Now all you got to do is keep that commitment and sign your name on a dotted line. That's what we want to see, man. We want to see you in a Sooner jersey. We want to see you playing on Saturdays here in Norman, where you belong, brother. Boom, boom, boom. Go get it, Gio! Go get it, Gio! As my boy Jim Nagy put it during SEC Media Days, man, look, roster retention is the most important thing in today's college football. There is nothing more important than making sure that you retain your key guys.
The recruiting gets a lot of the spotlight, but I think what the fans don't pay a lot of attention to is player retention, man. I think that's a big part of it. We've got a lot of players right now that are good players on this OU roster that have years left, and the worst thing that can happen is we lose players because we're paying too much on high school players. So there's a balance. So, again, some of these schools that, are going out there and have, 30 some dudes in a class and, all these how are you paying all those guys, man? Because I know what the pay scale is. Like, fans aren't fortunate enough to be privy to what's being spent on some of these guys. I'm curious to see how some of these schools make that work. But our job is to build a roster. And again, the guys I care most about are the guys in that locker room right now. So if they perform at a high level, we want to take care of them.
Man, this squad is going to be nasty. And BV and the rest of this team, man, they know it. They know this team is going to be nasty. But the success that we garner this year is going to start with that D-line, John Mateer from the QB position, and of course the O-line, the trenches, man. And I would go ahead and throw in one more position, family, the cornerback room. A healthy Gentry Williams, a healthy Eli Bowen, and a Jacobe Johnson focused on one plan, which is cornerback.
Courtland Guillory is a young man from Houston that showed up on campus, a corner that loves to compete. That's probably his best quality and trait. He's long, he's super athletic, but he loves to compete and he shows up every day. He's a dog and plays with tremendous effort, lets you coach him hard. So I love that about Courtland.
I believe that's the recipe towards success in that cornerback room. Not to mention the help that they will get from having the #1 defensive line in the country.
Probably run, stopping the run, because there's a feeling that you have to stop the run. You have to feel certain where the blocks are coming, what block you're getting from your man, and based off how he blocks you, you can tell if you're gonna get a double team, if you're gonna get a piggyback block. And I think the thing I have to work on the most is my pass rush, to be honest. And that's just because I guess I just love the run so much, to stop the run so much. I just need to really focus on pass rush going into this next season.
I mean, I'd say, we're working as hard as we can to do everything we can, and there's no ceiling to what we think we can do, what we plan on doing. But I'm excited for the challenge. It's a challenge. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
How else are you going to get better? You got to be challenged. Week in and week out, you get to do it. You don't have to do it. You get to do it.
Yep.
Not everybody gets to do it. We got the hardest schedule. Good. Come on, bring it. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited, and we all are.
The schematically, it just made the most sense. Being with the same offensive coordinator and being in the same scheme, and it's closer to home. My parents weren't able to come to a lot of games, but watched stages so far. And then
John Mateer helping bring that swagger back to Norman, and I love it. I also love to see that Donald Trump signed this executive order that could restore a little bit more clarity to the murky waters of college football right now. Love to see that, man. I love that for these young people. Because let's be real, these agents that have been hopping into college football have done their best to try to exploit these young players because of their inexperience, and not just their inexperience, their parents' inexperience. So, hey, man, I love to see this.
All right, President Trump signing an executive order to curb big money influence in college sports and provide some type of structure, because the NCAA, in my opinion, has dropped the ball. The order prohibits a few things. For example, the executive order that came down late last night prohibits third-party pay-for-play deals, but allows fair market NIL, has some organization and criteria with it. It's going to direct the Labor Department and National Labor Relations Board to evaluate athletes' employment status. They have not made that conclusion yet. There is no union, and directs the Attorney General and FTC to protect student athletes' rights from antitrust litigation. And finally, the executive order will gain momentum after meeting. He gained momentum after meeting with Nick Saban earlier. And Joe Manchin also did a lot of work on this too before he left the Senate. So there needs to be structure in college sports. People are worried about Title IX women's sports. They're also worried about non-revenue sports.
So if BV is pissed, you best believe the rest of this team is pissed. They are coming for blood. It will be a reckoning. They see vengeance. They smell it. They want it. They're hungry. They know that wasn't them. And you can see it in their aura. I know when they get in front of these cameras, they just gonna speak whatever they supposed to speak. But if you just watch the energy, the body language, they are telling you that they are ready. They got a taste of the SEC. They know that it's not as big Billy Badass as the world has tried to make it out to seem. In a season where there was multiple injuries like we'd never seen before. Like BV said, he's never seen nothing like this in his 30-plus year career. In a season where you don't have your full strength, you're playing the backups to the backups, you still made it to a bowl game? They know. I ain't saying the SEC is sweet, and I don't think they are either, but they know that it ain't as treacherous as people make it out to seem. And I believe they have the best defensive line in the country. You matching that up every day against this O-line with all of this talent who never got to come together completely because they weren't healthy, all of this depth that's now there, all this depth of talent that's now there on the O-line, I believe you'll have two of the best sides of the trenches in the SEC. I believe that O-line is going to get its just due because they're not just going to be good, they're going to be great. I believe they will be great, and I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to say that right now on wax. So when it happens, y'all know who said it here first. Oklahoma has one of the most talented O-lines in the SEC when you're looking at the potential. Mix that in with the best offensive line coach going up against the best defensive line, like I just stated. And look, man, the recipe is all there. I believe this is the biggest collection of talent that Bill Beatonball has had at Oklahoma. And we seen what he did the last time he had a major collection of talent. Bill helped some people get some jewelry, multiple NFL draft picks, multiple Big 12 championships, multiple college football playoff appearances. And those players who got drafted, some of them went on to win Super Bowls, man. So people got some jewelry. And then you mix that in with the fact that Ben Arbuckle had one of the worst offensive lines last year. It was terrible, but he still made something happen. If push came to shove, Ben Arbuckle could scheme around having a bad offensive line. We've seen him do it, but I believe they will not be bad. You also have Kevin Wilson there to help out and give some pointers and help in that tight end room, which they've looked good too, man. But we have to rally behind this team. And I'm going to tell y'all why, man. Because the national media isn't going to show them any love. And I know we've been seeing the watch list go out. You've been seeing all kind of Sooner players on the watch list. It seems like the national media is showing love. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is they are just keying out a few players that they feel like are really good, players that are ending up on these draft lists, 2026 buzz lists and whatnot. That's the only players they point out. They point out players that the NFL said could be a 3rd and 4th round pick. They don't believe that we have no real elite talent on this team. And I'm trying to tell y'all, there's multiple talented players at almost every position, and it is very deep, it is very special, and I don't really see too many teams in the country that match up with OU right now, man. This team is looking pretty special, so y'all better rally behind it. I believe this year we're going to go on a national championship run. Now, will we win it? I'm not ready to go there yet. I want to see how we are right after the Texas game, but I believe we can go on a very, very deep run, man. Y'all just be ready for it. And family, if you haven't yet, go follow me on Twitter at SEC_Boomer. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and show your brother that love. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Can't wait until the season starts.
Yo, OU DNA. You know, Boomer Sooner all day, baby. Boomer Sooner. You know how we coming. Sooner born, sooner dead. Yeah. And when I die, I'll be sooner dead.
It's Oklahoma. Like, it's freaking Oklahoma. Like, why would you not want to go to Oklahoma? I had a couple other opportunities, yeah, but it's Oklahoma, it's the SEC.
Boom! 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 Boom!